If you are following the global technology scene, you know the game has fundamentally changed.
Oh, completely.
We've moved past simple predictive software and are now fully immersed in the age of massive, power-hungry generative intelligence.
And that shift isn't just incremental, it's restructuring global business.
It really is.
Yeah.
Today, we're doing a deep dive into one of the major independent forces driving this global large language model, or, LLM market.
That's right. We have a rare look at the strategic documents from Knowledge Atlas Technology Joint Stock Company Limited.
Quite a name.
It is. Our mission today is to synthesize 3 critical elements from this material for you. First, their model as a service, or MaaS, business platform.
Okay.
Second, their surprisingly detailed technical roadmap leading right up to artificial general intelligence, or AGI.
And third.
And third, the immense financial and geopolitical headwinds they have to navigate to even try to achieve it.
What I find so compelling about this material is that it grounds those huge theoretical ambitions in immediate, practical, real-world examples. We are seeing their AI in action, from automating complex regulatory responses in finance to powering the intelligent cabins of high-end electric vehicles. It's an insane scope of ambition.
It really is.
Okay, let's unpack this and start with what defines their technology foundation.
We have to start there, because the sheer scale of modern LLMs makes them, well, they're just incomparable to earlier AI. Before, we mostly had discriminative AI.
Right. That's the AI everyone got used to first. It focuses on recognition, judgment, classification.
Exactly.
Think facial recognition, or suggesting a movie based on what you've already watched.
And it's effective, but it learns a very tight, predefined mapping between inputs and labeled outputs. And crucially, it doesn't demand extraordinary computing power.
LLMs, however, are a whole different ballgame.
A different magnitude entirely. We're talking about deep learning models with billions of parameters. I mean, the smallest flagship model we are seeing here is 106 billion parameters.
106 billion.
And they are pre-trained on just staggering amounts of data. Their core capability is generation. They create new, original content, text, images, code, and they're designed to act autonomously.
And that massive scale dictates everything else.
It does.
It immediately demands specialized, extremely expensive infrastructure, high-performance GPUs, massive distributed computing clusters, just for the training phase.
Which is why the LLM race is so capital-intensive.
Exactly.
Precisely. And that cost standard, the core intelligence, needs a commercial delivery mechanism. That's where their model as a service, or MaaS platform, comes in. It's how they monetize these foundational models.
So how flexible is that delivery? Because I'm thinking if a bank is going to use one of these models for sensitive financial data, they're going to need guarantees that, a small startup might not care about.
They absolutely recognize that. The MaaS platform allows for 2 main deployment options. On one side, you have on-premise deployment. This is where the model lives inside the customer's own data center. It's critical for organizations dealing with proprietary or highly sensitive data.
Right, so they have total control.
Total control and security. And then on the other side, you have the cloud-based option, which is the standard agility play.
More cost-effective, no need to buy all that hardware yourself?
Exactly. So the MaaS platform becomes this flexible bridge that lets them sell that intelligence to anyone, regardless of their security needs or technical complexity.
Okay, so let's move from the current business model to their profound long-term technical ambition. You mentioned AGI.
I did. The documents lay out a theoretical 5-stage roadmap toward AGI, artificial general intelligence.
And we hear that term, AGI, thrown around constantly. But having a major player actually define the progression in 5 specific steps, that gives us a crucial benchmark for the whole industry.
It really does. So stages 1 and 2 are largely where the most sophisticated models operate today. Stage 1 is basic pre-training, getting language understanding, basic generation.
The fundamentals.
The fundamentals. Stage 2 is alignment and reasoning. This is vital for safety. It brings in multimodal, understanding, processing, images, video, audio, and aligns the model with human intentions to reduce those model hallucinations.
Right, to stop it from making things up.
Exactly. But the real shift, the one that requires the massive R&D spending we'll get to, begins at stage 3, self-learning.
What does that actually mean in practice? It sounds a bit like science fiction.
Well, here the model learns to use external tools and resources, like calling APIs, to solve complex, real-world problems.
So it can look things up?
It can do more than that.
Yeah.
Critically, it achieves this through self-critique and a defined process the company calls rumination.
Rumination.
Think of it as deep, focused thinking. The model actively processes data, reviews its own output, and plans complex multi-step missions without needing a human to prompt every single step.
That's already a massive leap, but the roadmap doesn't stop there.
Not even close. Stage 4 starts to cross into philosophy, self-perception.
Self-perception.
This is where the machine operates independently of human oversight, forming simulated attitudes and emotions simply by observing its own actions and behavior.
Wow. And the final stage.
And finally, stage 5. Consciousness. That is their stated ultimate goal. Achieving awareness of both internal and external existence, systematic thinking, and integrating into complex social structures.
That's striking. We are talking about a company that is currently generating multi-billion RMB losses to fund a research goal that is defined as achieving machine consciousness. That is the magnitude of the commitment we are looking at.
It forces you to realize the high-stakes gamble they were taking with every single model release.
Okay, let's connect that ambition to what they are actually releasing right now. The pace of iteration is just astounding. The sources detail huge advances just between July and September of 2025.
Their flagship is the GLM-4.5 foundation model, scaled at a massive 355 billion parameters.
355 billion.
And it was open-sourced immediately upon launch, which is a major move in this competitive landscape. The documents show it achieved really strong performance in agentic, reasoning, and coding tasks.
Wait, you mentioned a smaller model earlier. How does this compare?
Right, so that 355 billion parameter version is the maximal power. For clients or developers needing less weight, they also released the GLM-4.5 Air, a lightweight version at 106 billion parameters.
So the 355B is the supercomputer brain, and the 106B is the one you might actually put onto a specialized server.
A perfect way to put it. And they are pushing heavily into processing everything. They released GLM-4.5V, which is their foundational vision language model.
For visual comprehension.
Exactly. And by September 2025, they had already launched GLM-4.6, focusing specifically on enhanced coding capabilities.
So the portfolio seems to break down into a few key areas.
It does. 4 key functional areas built on these foundation models.
So we have the foundational brain, the GLM models. Then the second category is the action layer, right? The AI agents.
Yes. These are systems designed to move beyond just chat and perform complex autonomous tasks.
And the leading example here is?
It's called AutoGLM. It's designed to transform a simple prompt from chat to act, meaning it can run these complex missions. And, critically, it achieves SOTA performance on the agent benchmark.
Let's pause on that jargon for a second. What does SOTA on Agent Bench tell us?
SOTA means state-of-the-art, so it's considered the best right now. Agent Bench is a rigorous testing environment to see how well an AI can complete missions on its own, like using a browser or an external tool to solve a multi-step problem.
So being SOTA means they are leading in complex mission completion.
They are. And those Stage 3 AGI aspirations we discussed, the rumination part, they're built right into these agents.
Of course.
They have AutoGLM rumination, which incorporates that deep thinking capability, and Coco, their enterprise agent focused on business applications.
And outside of pure action, they have a strong focus on creative output, the multimodal models.
A very strong focus. Their text-to-image generator, CogU4, ranked first on DPG Bench, another key performance metric, and was cited as the world's first open-source model capable of generating accurate Chinese text within images.
Which is a notoriously difficult problem.
Extremely difficult. They also have CogVideoX for top-tier video generation. And we shouldn't forget the utility models, specifically CodeGX. As of June 2025, this coding model was generating over 100 million lines of code daily.
100 million a day. That is a clear measure of massive developer adoption.
It's huge. And they wrap all this deep tech into a product for general consumers. Their chatbot, Zhipu, it's powered by the full GLM series, integrating that sophisticated rumination model for truly comprehensive answers.
And the adoption numbers.
Here's a stunning indicator. As of the latest practical date, the platform hosted over 800,000 active, customizable agents created by users.
800,000. So it's not just giant corporations using this.
No, it suggests the MaaS platform is fully enabling individuals to build and deploy their own specialized AI.
The technical capabilities are clearly there, but the real value is seeing how they leverage that MaaS platform to integrate this intelligence into established industries.
Exactly. The goal isn't just to sell a large model. It's to sell a highly customized brain for a specific vertical.
We see that customization clearly in the technology and internet sector. They integrated their agentic models into the latest smartphone series of a world-leading consumer electronics producer.
And these aren't just cloud services. These are on-device AI agents handling complex tasks.
Like what?
Audiovisual call interpretation, long context memory retrieval, even automated social media content creation.
They also dramatically scaled Office productivity by partnering with Kingsoft Office to enhance WPS AI.
Right. Now, a user can provide a simple theme, and the AI autonomously produces outlines, slide content, and even speech drafts step by step.
Which must have saved Kingsoft a fortune in maintenance costs.
It did, and it improved scalability.
This next example is fascinating because it touches on that simulated emotion we discussed earlier. In the traditional corporate sector, they developed an intelligent cabin system for a high-end electric vehicle manufacturer.
Yes, moving the in-cabin experience from rigid instruction-based commands
Turn on the radio.
to truly intuitive, natural conversation with deep personalization. It's designed to be a companion.
A companion.
The system can generate dynamic content like jokes and stories, run voice-controlled games. It's actively trying to provide enhanced emotional depth during the ride.
So it's less a car interface and more a nascent companion trying to achieve stage 4 AGI in your passenger seat.
That's one way to look at it.
Wait, so the same core technology that's trying to attain consciousness is also generating dad jokes in the back of an SUV.
It is.
That is an insane scope for a single technological pipeline.
It is, and that ambition holds true even in the most regulated environments. In financial services, they developed a highly specialized financial capital management LLM for a conglomerate.
Trained to handle what? Complex financial regulations.
Exactly. And it responds autonomously in whatever format is needed. Language, images, or formatted tables.
That is extremely high-stakes data. What kind of performance did they actually deliver?
The result is staggering. This specialized LLM achieved an AI automation rate exceeding 50% in regulatory Q&A within the client's commercial banking group.
Over 50%.
To automate more than half of the regulatory compliance questions in a complex financial institution, that is direct, immediate efficiency. It translates into billions in savings and reduced risk.
Which brings us to our final segment, the difficult context surrounding this company. They've achieved this level of technological leadership through incredibly deep academic roots.
That connection is paramount. They have an enduring partnership with Knowledge Engineering Group, or KEG, at Tsinghua University.
Right.
KEG pioneered the fundamental GLM framework development starting way back in 2018. This gives them a powerful built-in R&D advantage, led by respected figures like Dr. Li Wanzi and Professor Zhang Bo.
But that technological supremacy is expensive. The documents reveal the brutal financial reality of the AGI race.
It's a massive cash commitment. The company is intensely focused on R&D, which is necessary for their rapid model iteration. But despite continuous revenue growth, they are racking up substantial net losses.
How substantial?
To give you context, for the 6 months ended June 30, 2025, they recorded a net loss of RMB 2,357,852,000.
A loss of roughly 2.3 billion RMB.
In 6 months.
In 6 months. That's roughly the cost of building a skyscraper or operating a major international airport for a year.
All of that capital dedicated just to the operational burn rate required to build and train these models.
And their capital expenditures for infrastructure, GPUs, and clusters are massive and ongoing.
And layered on top of this financial intensity are significant geopolitical and regulatory headwinds, which make the entire process infinitely more difficult.
The most notable event occurred on January 16, 2025. The company and 9 of its subsidiaries were added to the US BIS entity list, which is a severe restriction. It fundamentally limits their ability to purchase US origin goods, software, and technology, so-called ear items, without a license.
Right. It's a huge blow.
That seems like it should be a debilitating restriction for a company in a high-tech, hardware-dependent industry. Yet, management claims this incident has not had a material adverse impact in the near future.
It speaks to a very specific strategic approach.
How so?
Management claims non-reliance because they assert they did not rely on these ear items during their track record period. It suggests they built their internal supply chain and infrastructure to be self-sufficient even before the listing.
So they proactively insulated themselves against this restriction. That's a massive risk management effort in itself.
It is. They've also implemented a comprehensive export control compliance program, actively screening partners to prevent ear items from being provided to them through their own supply chain.
And beyond the U.S. sanctions, they also operate under stringent domestic regulations in the PRC.
Absolutely, especially concerning generative AI and data security. They're subject to requirements like the administrative provisions on deep synthesis,
Which mandates what?
real identity verification, and requires clear content labeling for all generative content. Plus, the cyber data security regulations require security assessments for cross-border data transfer above certain thresholds.
So how do they handle that?
Knowledge Atlas maintains that all domestic user data is stored within China, along with strict security controls and audit records to maintain compliance.
So what does this all mean? We've looked at a company rooted in elite academic research, running a powerful, multifaceted model-as-a-service business, and rapidly iterating foundational models like GLM-4.5. They are simultaneously tackling the commercial challenge of integrating AI deeply into complex sectors like finance and automotive, while struggling with staggering financial losses.
All under the constant threat of geopolitical restriction.
Yeah.
This company really defines the high-stakes, deep-tech race to AGI. They are not just developing better software. They are defining the technological landscape under immense pressure.
And they are willing to spend billions to bridge that gap between today's powerful language models and the final philosophical stage of machine consciousness.
That's the goal.
And it is that commitment to stage 5 consciousness that leaves us with a provocative thought for you, the listener. Given that Knowledge Atlas, and surely their global competitors, have committed to this highly capital-intensive pursuit of AGI.
Funding everything up to simulated rumination and self-perception.
And considering they are already incurring multi-billion RMB losses in these early stages, how much capital, infrastructure, and time will the global race to AGI Stage 5 truly demand of the world's leading technology developers? And what compromises on data security or privacy might become normalized as this intensely resource-heavy technological frontier continues to move forward?